Hello, hello, hello.
Yes. Okay. One of these days, I'm going to get you one of those omnidirectional microphones and see how well that works for you. I do. I got one of the old ones, the old ones when it first came out. It's got the arm that comes out like this.
Alrighty then. All right. Can you hear me? Hello, hello. All right. Kim. Can you hear me, hon? Please tell me you can hear me. Hello, hello. Testing. Can you hear me? Very good. Very good. Very, very good. Fantastical, even. All right. Whammo. I have to pocket some holes now. Hello, Miss Minda. How are you, Tammy? It's my favorite part of booking, making a book. Okay. In a gamer stream. What were you doing in a gaming stream? Were you gaming? Hmm? Oy. All right. All right, so why are we all up this late? Well, thanks for sharing, Jimmy. That's pretty cool. Seriously, what are we all doing up this late? I mean, I know why I'm up this late, because for me, it's not really that late. Come on. You just came through the hole. There it is. Oh. Go to the hole. Go to the hole. Yes, to the hole. Very good. Yeah, I try to get all of my invoices done like immediately after I finish an auction, because I don't like making people wait to get their stuff, and I don't like them to have to wait to make the payment. It's like, I just want to get it over with and get them paid and get them shipped and get them out to you as quick as I possibly can. And then there's, you know, people that are just like, whatever. I've actually bought from auctions before and I didn't get an invoice for like 2 weeks. And that irritates me. Oh, your hubby does that too, huh? Let me see. This one? This package? Hi, Jamie. You mean this one right here? Nope, didn't get it. Yeah, my husband works 10-hour shifts, so he only works 4 days a week. And like the whole house runs on his schedule. So we don't eat dinner till like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. And people are like, that's ridiculous. And then my grandchildren come over and they're like, could we eat at a normal time, please? She didn't do it. I put very little in. They actually ate their dinner.
Yeah, well,
Well,
we're sharking now.
Their lunch.
Yeah,
It's dinner time.
well past dinner time. And I haven't even eaten yet today. Except for that sub earlier today. But, well, that was breakfast. Oh. Hand me the other one.
Well, I mean, it's just me and hubby, like most of the time, but we have our grandkids on the last weekend of every month. They come to visit. And when they're here,
It's auction time.
you know, it's usually on my auction day to begin with, for one thing. And for the second thing, by the way, glue stick does not work on this thing. On the second thing, I do still have one kid at home, but he's never here because he works almost as many hours as his dad does in a week. And he's only 17. But between his job, his girlfriend, who lives in the Midwest, taking the bus back and forth, and school, I never see that kid.
Go lay down.
All right, so I still need one tag. One tag. Two tags. Two tags. I need 2 tags.
Quick side note. Someone's been a bad girl and digging in my trash can.
Kick her butt.
I already kicked her butt once today.
It's probably not her, though.
I can't see who it is.
It's Harry. It's Harry. I need 2 more tags for this thing. cutter. Janie, I hate to cook and I hate to bake, but I like to eat. Well, Janie, you can always come here, you know. He's always making me something. This weekend's going to be peach cobbler cheesecake. Last week he made me oatmeal raisin cookies.
No peach cobbler cheesecake. Cream cheese too damn expensive. We're doing lambas bread.
Lambas bread?
Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
The bread stuff that they carried on when they were on the trek up the mountain.
Yes.
Yes. That's
elfin bread, yes.
Elfin bread. That's what the heavy whipping cream's for.
Ah, so you guys decided to do try elfin bread again?
I'm doubling the honey in it. It
Okay.
was not sweet enough the last time. Needed more.
More honey.
More honey. It's nice. It's like a bready inside with a biscuity outside.
Go away. You're making me hungry.
I'm hungry too.
Hi, JD. All right, let's clean this up.
Not that it's getting the season to get practice that pumpkin pie.
So that's what you're really doing, is practicing your pumpkin pie making skills.
Soon.
Okay.
Soon. We're not doing cheesecake yet.
Are you still uploading? Oh my God, JD. Are you using the uploader in YouTube? Is that the issue? Oh. That would drive me crazy to have to wait that long for an upload.
Not allowed.
Huh?
Not allowed to have that long a lag.
Go away. Oh, wow.
No, I won't go away. I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Are you hungry?
Do
Do you want food? I am making me food.
what are you making?
I have no idea. I'm going to go scavenger in the fridge.
Okay, scavenger in the fridge and let me know what you come up with.
No. What do you want?
I would like soup. A bowl of chicken noodle soup.
It's a lot of soup. All I got to spend.
No, I just bought some small ones.
You did?
Yep. So, did you guys see my my video on my new pliers? Love those things. They are awesome. I'm telling you, dollar for dollar, this was 10 times the deal of the Crocodile. Seriously. I hate Crocodile. That thing mangles everything it touches. This thing is just like butter. Well, the thing I don't like about it is when people use it to punch holes, you always see them going, oh, hold on a minute. And they have to sit there and pick all of the pieces out. And this one doesn't do that. And then when I used the Crocodile, when I tried to like, actually put an eyelet on, it would mangle the crap out of the eyelet. And this doesn't. And I just have a real problem with my tools making it harder for me to work. They're supposed to make my life easier, not more difficult. No, it didn't matter how much I squeezed or didn't squeeze, it still mangled them. Did not like that toy. Do not like that toy, I say. Do not like it anyway. Okay, done. What about the tall journal? What do you mean, Janie? Oh, is this going to go in a journal? Yes, I can put it in a journal. Yeah, see, I've had 3 of those crocodiles, and I've taken them all back to the store because every single one of them The hole punch either jams up on them, or they mangle the eyelet. Yeah, I've had 3 of them. They've all done it. And it's frustrating when you're working on a project and you spend half an hour, 45 minutes working on a tag or something. And then you're like, oh, it needs an eyelet. And you go to put the eyelet on it and it mangles the eyelet. And then you can't get the eyelet out of your tag you just spent 45 minutes working on. I hate that stuff. The Big Bite. Is that big stapler? You mean if I'm going to put like, if I want to staple this, how do I get in there? If I was going to staple this in instead of stitch it? Oh, if I'm going to make like a hole in the middle? Or put an eyelet in the middle of something? I don't know why I would put an eyelet in the middle. Hi, Carla. But if I was going to put an eyelet in the middle, to be honest with you, no, I wouldn't. I just go out to my shop and get out my eyelet punch and punch a hole and put my eyelet setter on it, and I would set it with my eyelet setter because I have eyelet setters that are 4 feet deep from doing clothing and garments. Because I've been doing eyelets for 30 years. I just do them usually in fabric. So if I was going to put an eyelet in here for some reason, like if I wanted to put an eyelet way up here and I couldn't reach it this way or this way or this way, I would just take it out to my studio and use an eyelet punch. Punch the hole and pop in a proper eyelet. I look at it this way. It's a matter of choice. I choose not to use a crocodile. I don't like them. They don't work for me. Never have worked for me. This works. This works, and the whole thing, including the huge box of eyelets that went with it, was less than 20 bucks. So I'm not a big fan, though, of We Are Memory Keepers products to begin with. Yep, lots of people don't like them. They're just, it's a matter of choice.
It is hot, thus the pad underneath. I do not have oyster crackers. I have saltines.
Oh, then take it away. I'm just kidding.
That's what I figured.
Kidding.
Fresh box, unopened.
Opening. Thanks.
Very hot.
I don't feel nothing with my hands. You know that.
That's why I don't want you burning your fingers. To give you warning.
Well, thank you. So I'm done with this. What the heck am I going to do with it now?
Oh,
Okay.
ocean it. Ocean it. Come on, someone wants to buy it. I'm sure it's a piece of artwork. Right?
Exactly, Carl. Don't follow other people. Find your own way.
Do you want me to open the plastic bag, or can you do that?
Got that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else? You good? We do have a biscuit left. Been in a Ziploc since we made it.
Okay. So I was in an auction the other day, and somebody had these, and they wanted to auction off the whole stack, and it wasn't quite as many as I have here, but they were like starting bid $25. Thank you. Nope, don't want that.
Okay.
And I was like, that seems a little pricey. So I went and I looked, and they were like, nope, can't do that. So they decided they were going to do them, and they were going to do like 5 for $3. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. So I went over and I bought a whole stack of them on eBay for $3.50. So I tell you guys, even when you go to my auctions, do yourself a favor. Have the auction up playing and have eBay and Amazon playing right next to it, because there's a lot of things that I've seen in auctions that sell, and I'm like, are you kidding me? You're going to pay that kind of money? These are really cool though. But and then I look, and it was like I could get 10 times what you're offering for a third of the money. It's always been one of my favorites. First Flight, the old lady on the airplane. I've always thought that was one of the cute ones. Yeah, so I picked up a whole bunch of these, so I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet. I think I'm going to maybe make tags out of them or alter them. But see, people don't know that they're price gouging. That's to be the honest truth. They don't know that they're price gouging. They find something and they just think it's cool and they want to sell it. But they don't know. They themselves do not look to see what it would sell for. They just find it and think it's cool. And so they want to share it. For some people, yes, it is about making money. Janie, if you rip those pages out of that book, I am going to drive down to Arizona and thump you over the head with that book. I have a sneaking suspicion the sewing machine book is probably a little bit more than the other one, but I have a sneaking suspicion that those books are worth money.
Don't tempt her. Arizona's 6 hours away. She'll do it.
And I'll do it in 4.
I've seen her. Don't put it past her. You know where y'all live.
Yes, it does, Tammy. It boils down to the eye of the beholder. Hi, Amy. Welcome back, Amy. Let's do a little searching on those, Janie, and see if they have their value. If they don't have a value, then by all means, you rip the living crap out of them and you have fun doing it and giggle the whole time. But if they're worth money and you tear them up, you're going to be kicking yourself in the pants for it. And old vintage sewing machine manuals they have value. Some of them have really good value. And those are older books. So if I were you, I would hold off and do some research on those books first to see what they're selling for. What is the value of those books? And you're going to have to look a little hard because I don't think either one of them's got an ISBN. On the book, Janie, there should be it's on everything. These little codes like this, there's an ISBN number. this number right here. It's usually on the barcode. If those books don't have a barcode, they don't have an ISBN number. 9 times out of 10. They might have one. If it's right before they came out with the barcode, you might be able to find the ISBN somewhere like on the cover page, on the title page. But if you can't find it, it's going to be harder for you to research it, but you can still research the title and find out what it's selling for. If it's not worth anything, then cut it up, have a good time, make paper dolls out of it, snowflakes, I don't care. But if it's really worth some money, then you'd be kicking yourself in the pants if you tear it up. That's all I'm saying. She has some old vintage manuals she picked up at the thrift store. One is an old sewing manual, and the other one is like a kind of like everything you ever needed to know about your home kind of thing. And so they could be worth money. They might not be worth money, but it's always worth looking into.
Quick Google search always helps everything. Could I close your door for a moment? I need to vacuum under my desk, please.
Okay, thank you. Ew. Stop talking. Somebody gave you printer ink that smelled like Windex and ruined the printer. Oh, I'd be pissed. I'd be so mad. Years ago, I had this brother, when they first came out with the multi-function machines, the MFCs from Brother, and they were brand new on the market. And I had one and I loved it. All the ink tanks on it cost me like a total of $15 for all of them. And I loved that thing, and I could refill the cartridges and nothing went wrong with it. And then one day it stopped working. And I was so mad. And I called Brother and I was like, I need to get this thing fixed. And it was right like within days of the warranty. And that's back when they gave you a 5-year warranty. And it was just within days of the 5-year warranty running out. And they were like, well, you can take it to one of our authorized dealers and have it repaired. And it was this typewriter place around the corner from my house. And I went in there and the guy was like, well, this isn't covered under the warranty. We could fix it, but it's cheaper to buy a new printer. And I have never been able to find a printer that beat that printer in color, performance, speed, clarity. That printer was fantastic. And I made the mistake of going, well, I guess I'll just get a new one then. And I went in and I bought a new one, and I have been replacing them ever since. Every probably 4 to 6 months, I buy a new printer. There's like 8 of them out in my shop right now. My husband is trying to clear out the garage and everything. And he's like, honey, what are you going to do with all these printers? Because I literally have a stack of printers. Yeah, I mean, as crafters, we, especially as paper crafters, we fall in love with our printers. We love them. And then something happens to them and we get all ticked off. Hi, Mama. What you doing down there? Well, yeah. You're a chatterbox. And like I had one that I was using here for a while because it was really fast. It was an Epson and it was fast. So if I had to print like graphic sheets out because I sold some graphics to somebody and I needed to print out like 20 sheets of graphics, that thing would do 20 sheets in like 15 minutes. Flat, no problem. And then one day it goes, ink cartridge not recognized. And after that, it never worked again. Could not get that thing to print another piece of paper. Didn't matter if I put real Epson ink in it or if I used refilled cartridges. Didn't matter. It was not going to work. Aggravated. Okay, so I have a question. Matter of opinion. Should I put this in the auction or just sell it outright? Let's see. What does it do? Let's see. Janie says auction. Kim says auction. This is the most wonderful stamp ever. That's what it is. It is a letter stamp that literally stamps up to 12 characters or spaces in a single stamp. It works pretty good. Yeah, I'm thinking I might auction it. She's going to kill me. I keep adding stuff to the auction. Maybe next month. Maybe I'll put this in the October auction. I'll let Amy auction hers first and see what that goes for. They are really cool, though. I have one. I love it. Mine's actually bigger than this and has more spaces on it. I think mine's up to 20. But yeah, I love this thing. Yes, honey, I'm going to let you be the guinea pig. I'm going to let you auction yours off first, and then I'll see how much it comes in at, and then I'll know what the starting price is for mine. And when's your next auction, Amy? Was it the 4th? October 4th? What time? Come on. Promo. 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, everybody head on over to Hags Hollow on October the 4th at 5 Pacific Standard Time. Well, excuse me, Eastern, 2 Pacific. Go and check out her next auction. Lots of paper in that one, Amy. You're going to have lots and lots of paper. Pretty papers. Pretty index cards and tags, too, huh? Do you know if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 printing and which copyright? I don't understand the question, Janie. How do you know if you have, oh, how do you know if you have the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th printing? Which number of printing do you have? Unfortunately, to find out which printing you have, first off, if it says that the original was in 1948 or 1943, whatever, that's going to be your first printing. Yeah, so it's how many times they've printed that book. So they ran it in 1948, and then whatever years there were, they ran it through those as well. First editions usually are first editions, and there's usually, when it is a first edition, there's usually mistakes that they correct in subsequent printings. So if you have a first edition, you would go in and, like, the way to verify it would be like on page 43, 3rd line down, so many words in, this should be the word that appears. They have like little tells in the first editions where they were mistakes that are corrected, and people that value books, they know exactly where those little tells are in those books. And that's how they check to see if it's authentically a first edition. So if it says copyright 1943, and that would be the only date, then that's a first edition. But if it's got other dates, it's not a first edition, honey. So it says the first printing is in April of 1946, but then it says at the top of the page that it was copyrighted in 1943. You gave me a picture of the page. I'll look at the page and do some research on it, Janie. Because you sent me copies of the pages, of the front cover pages. So I'll look and see if I can figure out what they are, which editions these are. There's Janie messaging me now. Okay. Copyright 1943 by the National Legal Craft Bureau, revised edition, copyright 1946, copyright 4748. Licensing Company, all rights reserved. First edition, 46. Okay, so they copyrighted it in 1943. That means that's the day they got the copyright, but the first printing wasn't done until 1946. For whatever reason. For whatever reason, they got a copyright in 1943, but then did not print and release the book for 3 years. And it could have very well been, it had 3 years worth of editing needed. Or 1943 to 1946, you're talking about Second World War era. They may not have printed it because of the Second World War. Because that is literally World War II era, right in the middle of it. Generally, the one that you have is the one that's got the latest, the most recent copyright date. Because you're not going to have a book printed in 1947 in 1936. You know, it's the last number, the last date that's on there. So for you, 1948, that book was printed in 1948, released in 1948. Because you're not going to get a book that you could buy in 1947 that wasn't printed until 1948. You're dying to tear that book up now, aren't you? What do you want, Janie? Do you want the cover off of it? Is that what you're looking for? Or do you want to use the pages and stuff? Do you want to dye the pages? What do you want to do to this book, Janie? Okay, so you just want to scan the pages. You don't care what condition those pages are in. You're not going to try and sell the signatures or use the signatures or anything. You just want to scan them. You just want to get them out to scan them. Is that correct? Doesn't mean anything. A lot of companies did it in Roman numerals. Okay. Okay, Miss Janie. Where's my book? Let me find my book. All right. So recently I got this book. Okay. And this is it's a auction catalog. Sort of. It's like, what did things sell for at auction? Okay, so it's got all this really cool old furniture in it. And I want to take these out. So down at the bottom, you can pretty much see where your signatures are. But because this book was glued together, you're going to lose the first and last page of every signature because they're glued on the sides. So you have to find your signature, find the center of your signature, wherever that center may be. Carefully lift up these threads and snip them, and then the pages will come right out. So like this signature, I'm just going to be very careful and cut just the threads. Try to avoid nipping the book. And you know, they say some damage is going to be inevitable when you're doing this. And they actually get easier the further down you go. So now I've snipped all the pages. There's a string in there. I mean, if you want to be a little bit more rough with it, then be a little bit more rough with it. But I kind of try and get my pages out as intact as possible. See the crap I go through for you guys? Here's 1, 2, and 3. Swoop here. Clip. Clip. Now, usually once you do the first page coming out, the rest of them are not going to tear or anything because you've already cut all the cording. But literally, I snip the cords so that I can pull each page out on its own. And because these are glued in, because this book was made in that era when they glued pages together, I'm not going to be able to get the last set out. I'm going to lose the front and back page of each signature. These are really cool, though. These have computer work and stuff. Now, it's a gold signature. Now, see, I've run into glue. This is the base of the signature, and it's glued into the book, and it's glued to this page. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can either rip this out, or you can hit this with your hot glue gun, with your heat gun, and try to melt the glue a little bit and pull it apart carefully. I hate book binding glue. releasing the inside of the book is one thing, but it's getting the pages apart that's the other issue, Jamie. So, yeah, I would, if I were you, I would be very, very careful taking the pages apart. Try to figure out in the first section of the book how your pages are assembled, how your book is put together. Find your strings, nip your strings, even if the whole thing comes out in one big lump, because I've seen them come out like that. I have one right now that I'm trying to fix. It's an old first edition copy of Evangeline, and I'm trying to get it fixed. And that thing, like the whole binding fell out. Let me see. Yeah, okay, Janie, just cut it on either side there. Cut through that. That's the inside jacket cover. Just cut through the inside jacket cover with a straight razor. And then look at your signatures. I can see the signatures right here. So just look at your signatures and try to get as much of the glue off the back that you can. And if it exposes just cords, just string and thread, then just cut that thread and it should come right apart. Yeah, I like this. This is kind of neat. But I love this book. This book has got really cool old stuff in it. And I dyed a bunch of this paper. Night, Kennedy. Hey, Amy, are you still here? Yes. So for your auction on the 4th, I noticed in your store you had some Harry Potter pages. Are you dyeing any of those? Well, no, the reason I'm asking is have you seen my auction preview? This year is the 20th anniversary of the first Harry Potter. And so in kind of in that theme, I did some paper packs. So I was thinking, you know, that the people that buy those, it would be cool if I could tell them, you know, that they could get some pages from the book, dyed pages from the book from you on your auction in a couple of days, that you were going to have them. But I don't want to tell people that they can come get them if you don't have them. So if you have them, let me know. If you don't, then that's cool. But I just wanted to kind of mention it in the sale that they could do that. G, out. Out. Okay, well, I have 4 kits. So if you want to just do a couple of sheets, that would be great. And then that way I can mention that they can get that from you and it'll work. It'll tie in. I made the packs specific so that it would tie in with the dyed paper that I had seen in your shop. Well, I only have four packs. Let me go check, but I think I only have 4. Okay, I do. I have 4. And I'll show you what's in them real quick so you can kind of gauge if you want it, how you want to handle the color, if you want to just tea dye or you want to color them, okay? All right, so every pack's going to have the Marauders map, that's tea dyed. The stickers. Then they get I hate these bags once you open them. They suck. Then in here, there's an owl exam on parchment. They get the 8 colors for the schools, 2 pieces of the fabric, the yo-yos, the coloring cards, the playing cards, and then all 10 of all the Harry Potter tapes. And then a digital download of papers as well. So I can send you, I'll email you the preview for the kit that's got everything in it, and you can decide if you want to do it, just tea dye the papers, or if you wanted to do like colors for the schools or something. But that way, when I do my sale on Friday, I can, when I promo your sale, then I can mention that they can get the tea dyed papers from you. Yeah, probably. I should remember to put the stickers in here, the tape, the washi tape. But I just wanted you to see it so you have an idea of what you think would work best as far as coloring. And that way, because it is all pretty much like brownish, but I want to be able to send people over to your sale and say, hey, listen, if you buy this, you can go over to Amy's and she's got some Harry Potter pages that she dyed. I think I'm a Slytherin, but I'm more like a Hufflepuff. Oh, that's terrible. I turn on the other cam and say hi to y'all, but I'm eating, so I don't want you to see me eating this. It's disgusting. Nobody looks graceful eating soup. Anything you don't have to cook yourself is yummy. I've discovered that. So are you having the post office pick up all your packages for you, Amy? Instead of having to take them to the post office yourself? Because I can't imagine that you've got an easy way to do that. Oh, Lord. Your postal carrier must be mad at you. Yeah, they don't like picking up that package. It's like a service they do, but they don't like it. But it is part of the price that you pay. When you pay for those shipping containers and that postal shipping, it's door-to-door service. Vegas, the emotional support ferret. Oh, hi, Tammy. I nice to see you come in. They're such wankers about it. My guy gets mad if I make him deliver me boxes. Because, like, I order my boxes from the post office all the time, and I get the, like, tube ones because I ship a lot of newspaper type stuff. And so I don't want to fold that on you. It's like, that's not cool if I fold it. And these will fit in an envelope, but some of the other ones, the pages I have, they're like twice this size. And I don't want to fold them in half to put them in an envelope because maybe you don't want your paper folded in half. So I roll them and I get the triangular boxes that they offer at the post office. And I have those delivered. And they get mad at me when they have to deliver them. I can tell because the boxes are all crunched on the corner where they threw them at the door. I know. I know. They get mad. It's weird. It's like, I'm sorry, but that's in your job description. Deliver the mail. Pick up the mail. It's their own damn fault. If they just, left it like it was, where they drive up to your house and put your mail in your mailbox and drive away, we wouldn't have these problems. But no, they have to put in these community mailboxes. And they don't leave any place for you to put packages for them, so they have to come to your door to get them. They did it to themselves. Yeah, my mailbox is like half down the block, and the guy gets mad if he has to like pick up anything at the door. It's like, dude, it's not my fault. Most times I try to give it to my husband and have him drop it off, but when they have to bring me boxes, they have to bring me boxes. It's a service they offer. Not my problem. You get paid to do your job, buddy. I know. It's like, God forbid they have to walk more than 2 steps from the vehicle. I wonder how they love going to Stacy's to pick up stuff because girl's got some heavy stuff going out of her house. Because she has at least 3 or 4, maybe 5 fabric sample books every auction. So her packages are heavy. And even taking them to the post office, they get pissy with you when you go in there and you've got like a wagon full of packages. They're like, Uh, I can't watch the bat video until I'm done. It won't let me. Sometimes she does take him to the post office, but if Chris can't drive her there, like when he had his accident and his car was messed up and he didn't have a car, she had to have the post office come out and pick up the packages at her house, and they were pissy about it. I'm lucky. I have one girl, and it's really weird because I live in such a big city, but I have one girl who's very sweet. She's very, very nice. And so on the Saturday after my auction, because I try to mail those invoices out, like I have the auction Friday night, and I try to get your invoice out to you before Saturday morning. So I do have a lot of people that they wake up, they see that in their email right away, and they pay right away. So I can get them out by like 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon, which means they get their stuff Monday morning. And so I have one girl who works the post office on Saturday. She's the only person there. And when she sees me come in, she always just waves to the side counter. And I go over there and just pull all my packages out. And then she will actually close her line for like 2 minutes and walk down. And I already have everything marked. If it's going to be media, if it goes first class, whatever. And she'll just put them on the scale and run the tickets for me and then just walk away and let me just do my thing with the ATM machine there with their little debit machine, because she's not worried about it. She sees me coming in, it's no big deal. People get mad, but that's why we go to the post office, people. We all know we're going to stand in line. Now I just do it all through Pirate. I'm done. I don't play anymore. I do not like Etsy. I don't like the way that they do it, because Etsy is one of those places where they absolutely positively charge you more money than they should for shipping. I go to Pirate, I get the lowest shipping that I can. And if somebody orders like this, I'm just going to throw this in an envelope and just put a regular 70-cent stamp on it and throw on an extra 15 cents for the non-scannable and send it. If it does not get there, you tell me it doesn't get there, I will send you another one. 9 times out of 10, it's never been an issue. I hate paying for postal. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate that I take a manila envelope in and the very first thing they do is, that's a package. It's 10 sheets of paper. It's a package. No, it's not. It's 10 flat sheets of paper, people. Hello, Donna. I never have a scan sheet. But I would rather do it on Pirate Ship, get the lowest rate that I can for somebody, and then just take it into the post office, and I knock on their little door and make them open it, and I just dump all my stuff into their bin and walk away. Me hates post office. Post office full of meaners. It's because they don't want to do their job, Kim. Their job is to weigh your packages, put the postage on it, charge you for it, and then sort your packages into the correct bins. That's their job. at the front desk of the post office. That is the entire job description. And somewhere in there, it actually does say, be pleasant. But I have never met a pleasant postal person in my life. They all have this kind of sour, the same look on their face, which is kind of scary because they're not government employees. But they all look like government employees. Yes, a lot of people do take advantage of media mail. But if you read the requirements for media mail could be videotapes or CDs. It can be newspaper if that newspaper has a value. I send my newspapers, my historic newspapers that I sell, I send those media mail. And I've had postal workers tell me, oh, that's not media mail. And they've done it right in front of a supervisor. The supervisor turns around and says, yes, yes, it is. It's a historical document. Therefore, it is media mail because it is newspaper and it is historical media mail. Even though it's not a bound item, it does qualify. But like, I know a guy who sells comic books. He sells rare, hard to find comic books. And he was told at one point that he could not ship those media mail because they have advertisements in them. But if you read the actual guidelines, if the advertisement is part of a historic document, then yes, you can send it. So when he sends vintage comic books, he can send them media mail. Magazines are not media. Yes, but you know what? I've taken stuff in and they've accidentally marked it media mail. Like I took one in one time, it was just a box and it had a bunch of stuff in it, but just a bunch of auction stuff. And I had like 6 or 7 things that were media mail in that one box. And when I went in, the girl that was behind the counter, she was like, this is going to be $27. I was like, no, it's media mail. She goes, oh, $3.75. And like I put stickers on all of my packages that say media mail on them. So I put the sticker on it that says media mail. And then there was this one package that I had that was not media mail. And she put media mail postage on it. And I said, wait a minute, that's not media mail. And she says, well, what is it? And I told her it was like, there was some stamps or something, some punches or something in there, some stamps in there and something else. And she was like, no, it's fine. I'm not going to reprint the postage. So if they screw up, it's okay. But if you screw up, it's a bad no-no. Yes, vintage magazines from the 1950s should be considered media mail. It depends on who you talk to at the post office. That's the problem. Because I've actually printed out the guidelines and you can invoice via PayPal and then ship through pirate ship if you want to. But you can also just invoice a regular invoice. If you have Google, which you do because you have YouTube, if you go into your Google Drive, there's actually invoices in Google Drive set up for you. And then you can share that link. So you don't have to pay PayPal fees. I've never I've never invoiced through PayPal. I have one customer who refuses to pay unless I put it through PayPal. But other than that, all my invoices come out of the Google Drive. I go into Google Drive. I have the invoice. I fill in the invoice form. I send the link to the person that it belongs to, that invoice belongs to. They have access. They can click the link, go right to their invoice, look at their invoice, and then pay me, whether they want to pay me through Facebook or they want to pay me through my Square account or they want to pay me through PayPal Friends and Family. It gives them 3 options to pay me because it's not locked in. Oh, poor Jamie. Kim, if you we'll do this one day. I will set up a Streamlab and get you into StreamYard with me, and I'll show you on my computer how I do it. Because PayPal charges you when you invoice, but they will not if you do it friends and family. Facebook does not if you do if you're sending money through Facebook, and Square gives you up to 1,000 transactions for free when you start off with them. And I don't care how you cut it, that's money out of your pocket. You can't add 20 cents to an invoice to cover the invoice fee because then they'll just charge you 21 cents. You're never going to get ahead. Honey, I send itemized invoices. JD, you still here, honey? JD buys from me all the time. I think Janie's bought from me once too. You can ask either one of them. My invoices are very clear in what I'm sending you, what I'm billing you for, even down to the type of postage that I'm charging you. Because I will package your stuff 3 or 4 different ways to find out what's the cheapest way to ship it. And then I bill you for the shipping. Because sometimes it's cheaper to send stuff first class. Sometimes it's cheaper to send it with a flat rate. Sometimes it's cheaper to send it cubic rate based on the size of the package. Because with cubic rate, they charge by the square inches as opposed to the weight of the package. So you do square inches up to a certain amount of weight could be cheaper. So it really does depend on how you package it. So I have 3 ways that I package, and I try all 3 ways to see which one's cheaper using Pirate Ship, and then that's the one that I charge the client. Well, first off, sweetie, they have to prove that you're not my friend. And they can't prove that. They cannot prove that you are not a friend sending me money. But Facebook, you can send money for free. You can also send money for free through Zelle, bank-to-bank transfer. The problem is PayPal is becoming obsolete because now everybody's got these apps on their phone where you can send money through Facebook. You can send money through Zelle in your bank. And it's real easy to do. Square now offers an online service to do it. So PayPal is becoming obsolete. So they're fighting to get every penny that they can. But the bottom line is they can't tell whether or not you're my friend. They don't know if I know you in the real world. And even if I don't know you in the real world, if I consider you my friend, you're doing nothing wrong by sending me money through friends and family. Yes, you did. You sent me money on Facebook the other day. And they're going to tell you that they're cracking down on it. But they can't, how do they know that I don't know Janie? Or that JD and I aren't friends? They don't know that. We are friends. So we're, you know, she's sending me some money to cover some shipping because I'm going to ship her some stuff that belongs to her. Period. End of discussion. She's covering the shipping. She's sending me some cash because I need $11.25. Who cares? They have to be able to prove that, sweetie, and they can't. It's Big Brother. Don't let them Big Brother you. Don't let them bully you. Right. They're not a bank. They're a business. But Zelle is available. If you have a bank account in any major bank, Bank of America, what other banks are there? Chase Bank. You have a bank account through credit union or something like that. They all use Zelle. And Zelle is basically the software that they use to transfer funds within the bank. They've just made it now so you can transfer from bank account to bank account. So if we go out to dinner and I pay the bill and you want to pay me your portion of the check, you can send me $10 or $15 or whatever it is to cover your portion of the check. So one person pays the bill and everybody around the table pays that person using Zelle. And it's just a cash transfer. I use it all the time to transfer money to my kids. Because it doesn't cost anything. It doesn't cost me anything. It doesn't cost them anything. I've done it when I've gone on vacation with my daughter because she has a credit union. And because it's a credit union, they don't charge her. They reimburse her ATM fees. So if she goes and uses an ATM someplace else and that ATM charges her $1.50, her bank, her credit union reimburses her. So when I need cash, because my bank will charge me, one, for using an out-of-network ATM, and two, I get charged the ATM fee on the other side, I'll transfer the money using Zelle to my daughter, who then takes the money out of the ATM and gives it to me. And that way I don't pay $8, $10 in fees. Okay, they may have held your money as Wells Fargo. That's the other bank. Thank you very much, Amy. She knew exactly which one was in my head. Okay, so you had your 12-hour sale, then they put someone's money who paid for their items on hold and said you couldn't have the money until the items were verified delivered. Now, that may be at the buyer's request. That very well may be at the buyer's request, that the buyer requested verification before the funds were released. Because I know I've had some invoices that I have paid through PayPal where the invoice is like over $50 or something like that, and they'll ask if I want to wait for verification. Yeah, and that's possible too. And the buyer does give up certain protections when you use friends and family, because if I buy from you and I pay that invoice through friends and family, Like you send me a note saying, okay, well, you bought this item and this item, and you owe me $6. And I send you the $6. And then they turn around and you don't send it. I don't have any recourse because it's friends and family. So why would I be paying a bill for it? So that is a thing. If you're going to pay through friends and family, you should know the person that you're buying from. Make sure that they're reputable, because they could just not send you your stuff, and there's nothing you can do about it. PayPal won't. They'll go back to the seller and go, hey, what are you doing? Why are you using friends and family to sell stuff? To which you just go, I'm not selling shit. Yeah, I don't sell through Etsy anymore. I have a shop on Zibbit now, because Zibbit, I pay a flat rate every month, period. And I can sell as much as I want. I can list as much as I want. I can change my listings anytime that I want. It doesn't cost me anything. And I have multiple storefronts. It's not just an Etsy shop. I can go through AC Moore to sell my actual handmade journals and things. I can sell on Zibbit, and I can sell on Stitch. Right now I'm on Zibbit and Stitch, and I pay $6 per front. So I pay a flat fee of $12 a month, period. That's it. I could sell $5,000 worth of stuff. I'm going to pay $12 a month, period. And I left my Etsy shop, and when I quit my Etsy shop, they shut down my Etsy, which is why I can't make payments through Etsy anymore. Like, I can't even view stuff to buy stuff on Etsy. And if I try to send messages, it lets me get like 4 or 5 items of text in, and then it automatically sends the message. So I can't even message somebody on Etsy anymore, because they're mad at me. So I was a bad girl, and I closed my store. And I closed it because I looked at last year's sales, and I had like a total of, we'll round it, $5,000 in sales on my Etsy shop last year. On all of my Etsy shops combined, all of them. Because I have 3 Etsy shops. Had 3 Etsy shops. I paid to Etsy in listing fees, charges, surcharges, even postage charges, somewhere in the neighborhood of about $1,700 out of my $5,000 in sales. When it was all said and done, when I took out the amount that I had spent on postage to actually ship stuff, and then all of the Etsy fees, it was around $1,700 total. So out of my $5,000 of total gross income, my net was only $3,300. Minus the postage, I think I paid somewhere in the neighborhood of about $800 or $900 in fees to Etsy. Thank you, JD. I spent way more than that. I get more business through my Zibbit store than I ever did on my Etsy shop. And if you go and look at my Zibbit shop, it is a much nicer, cleaner, more professional looking store, online store. So yeah, if you have a shop on Etsy, I would definitely consider looking at a Zibbit shop. The link's here. I think Nightbot's still putting it in. Click on it and go look at it at any time. And what I like about my Zibbit is, let's say you want to buy cutting dies. You can go into my Zibbit shop, which is a very nice shop. It's very professional looking. It has much larger photographs of my items than I get on the Etsy shop. And you just type into my search bar cutting dies, and anything that says cutting or dies is going to come up. So not only are my cutting dies going to come up, but my die cuts are going to come up as well. And you can sort through them and see what you want. And because I don't worry about how many listings I put up. If I want to list each one of my cutting dies separately, I don't pay 20 cents for every single one that I list. I can list them all separately and I don't pay any additional fee for them. So like on Etsy, you put 15 dies in one ad because you're trying to not have to pay the extra fees. On my Zibbit shop, I don't worry about it. I can literally go in and go tickets, double tickets, tickets, single tickets, green guest checks, pink guest checks, skull cutting die, bones cutting die. I can list them individually if I want to because it doesn't cost me anything per listing. Etsy charges a fee on everything. Yeah. And they do keep a really big chunk of what you sell. And Amy, I don't want to hear it. You have a place to live. Not only do you have a place to live, but I can get you a job where you can work from home. For $11.25 to $12.25 an hour. Mm-hmm. It's from home, literally sitting on your butt, playing on a computer, listening to people complain and fixing their orders. Right. You have to pull your listings because they screw up the shipping. I had stuff. Okay. Here's my problem with Etsy. I'll show you. Okay. I have, now this is not one that I sell in my shop per se, but I'm going to use this as the demonstration. Okay. So here's a stamp and die set. Now I do have stamp and die sets in my shop. They're not Spellbinder ones. They're, you know, cheap ones I get from China. If I listed this in my Etsy shop, first off, I'd pay 20 cents just to list the item. Then I would pay a service charge. When the item sells, they get a percentage of what this sells for. So I have to take the 20 cents that they charge me plus the percentage into account when I make the price on this. So let's say I set this item at $5. Then I go into the Etsy to figure out the shipping, and I put in that I'm going to put this in a flat envelope. They automatically charge me as a package. This item that I would sell for $5 would cost $4.50 to ship. When the truth is that this item would really cost me no more than $2 to ship regular first class mail. And that's my problem with Etsy. No matter what I ship, you don't have an option. You can only ship the way that they want it shipped. And I've had items, and you guys know this, you've all done the same thing, where you have items that are tiny. One of my Alice in Wonderland sticker packs. It's 4 little sheets of paper, no bigger than a postcard. On Etsy, to ship that is $3.20. It is literally put it in an envelope with a 70-cent stamp, put their name on it, and mail it. It's easier and cheaper for me to replace that item because it cost me 46 cents or whatever it cost me when I buy them in bulk than it is to have my customer have to pay $2 for the item, but $3 to ship it. I had a customer the other day who emailed me because my Etsy shop still shows as being open because I have it open through Zibbit for a limited time till the items run out because I paid for the listing. So until those listings run out, I'm going to let it sit. She went in and bought like 15 items from my Etsy store and she bought $42 worth of items, and with shipping of $85. Think about that for a second. $42 worth of items, $85 total. That's more money, that's $1 more to ship it than it was to purchase the items in my Etsy shop, which is why I'm letting it all run out, why I've closed it. I've officially left Etsy, but it's still open through my Zibbit shop. So it's like a transitional period. If you go into my Etsy store, it just pulls it out of my Zibbit. But that was ridiculous. So I told her, I said, don't worry about it. I'm just going to send me a copy of what you want. I'll list the whole thing over on an actual Zibbit article for you. You pick it up through Zibbit and pay through Zibbit. You can do the same thing on Zibbit that you do on Etsy, where you sell stuff at your auction and then put the bundle in for them to buy it, but you're not paying the listing fees. You're also not paying the sold item fees, and you don't have to use Etsy's shipping policies. Exactly. Their shipping charges are outrageous. And I tell people all the time, you guys, I've bought from you. How many times have I bought from you? And I tell you, just shove that crap in an envelope and send it to me. I probably won't even remember that I bought it. So if it gets here, I'm happy that it's here. But if it doesn't show up, I'm not going to call you and go, hey, by the way, I spent $12 in your sale and you didn't send me my stuff. No, because I'm taking the responsibility of, if my shit doesn't show up, it's my fault. I told you, put it in an envelope, slap $2 worth of postage on it and send it. Because I love you to death, Amy, but I can't afford to pay for your paper and then pay $10 or $12 in shipping fees. So put it in a manila envelope, put $3 worth of postage on it and send it to me. Period. It's just easier. But they've got this whole mentality that, everything has to be tracked. Not everything has to be tracked. And the truth is if you put it in an envelope and put $3 worth of postage on it and send it as a regular envelope, regular first class, instead of through one of their special mailers, it's still going to be tracked. Any postage you buy off Pirate is going to be tracked. So if you actually weigh it and send it cubic, which is the cheapest way to mail stuff, it's going to be tracked. You don't have to use first class special packaging postage, but Zibbit would have you think that. Etsy would have you think that. And so would, the post office, but it's not true. Yes, but if you're handling your auctions through your Zibbit account, like most people are handling them through their Etsy, because most people I know that sell in auctions, I would say probably at least 75% of the people that I know that sell, they sell it and then they put a listing on Etsy. So it's a special, package. This is a listing for Jane Smith. This is a package, this is a listing for Kim Jones. And then you go in and you pay for it through their Etsy shop so that they're billing it through their Etsy shop. And that's great. But when you add up the 20 cents for each one of those listings, then add up what Etsy takes out in sell fees for the actual, fee at the end of the sale, plus what they take out in the postage fee, you'll come up with your $6 a month to pay for your shop on Zibbit. When I did a cost analysis on it, I made more money working through Zibbit and Stitch and AC Moore than I did working with Etsy. And it's a matter of personal preference. You know, you could just say, screw it all the way around and just open up a Facebook shop and put your shop on Facebook, because Facebook Marketplace is more than just a yard sale place or a, you know, personal item sales. They have regular sales, regular shop type sales that you can do through there. You just open up a Facebook business account. My Zibbit shop is Bemis Crafty Corner at Zibbit.com. The bot should be putting it up there. Yeah, there it is, Nightbot. B-ma-s-crafty-corner.zibbit.com. Hold on, I will put it in personally. Speech. Use it. Copy. Paste. And I can make it look any way that I want, Amy. There's multiple different design structures that I can use and backgrounds and things. So if I want to change it seasonally, the look of it, I can do that. Oh, absolutely, Amy. I mean, right now you may not be able to do that, but down the road, you know, that is, it's not one of your, you know, it's not your primary, but it is a side hustle that makes you decent cash. So, you know, really feature your stuff. You're absolutely right, Tammy. Brick and mortar buildings are going to cost you a lot of money, depending upon what type of building you have, you know, what kind of storefront you're using. And it is cheaper to have a website. And maintaining those websites are not free. But when you're a big commerce, when I first started using Etsy years ago, when it first started up, it was like 20 cents to list an item. That was it. They didn't charge you anything else. Then they started charging you items on the back end of the sale. We're going to charge you 20 cents to list it. And then we're going to charge you a per sale fee for everything that you sell. And it started out, it was the same type of thing. It was like 20 cents to list it, 20 cents to sell it, 20 cents to list it, 20 cents to sell it. Then it became 20 cents to list it, 35 cents to sell it, 20 cents to list it, 35 cents to sell it. And it kept going up and up and up till it just got to a point where they were like, well, we're just going to charge you a flat percentage. And even if it's 2 or 3 or 4%, which doesn't seem like a lot, you still have to either jack up your price to cover that, or you bite it in the shorts and they take that out in fees. Amazon charges way more. Can't make any money selling on Amazon. You're going up against tens of thousands of other people that are all selling the same thing, and a lot of them are selling mass-produced stuff, calling it handcrafted, and so they can charge less money for it. And it's, again, it's a matter of personal preference. I didn't like spending my money to put it in the pockets of Etsy. When Etsy was for the makers, it was worth the money. But it, as it became more and more of a business, it became less and less about the makers. Mm-mm-mm. So, Tammy, you sell books. If you sell books, have you ever looked at Abe books and seen what the listing fees are for Abe books? Because I used to sell textbooks through Abe books, and I used to get a pretty good return on it. And I don't know if it was because they were textbooks that they were easier to sell. But I look at it this way, people want to handle their sales the way that they want to handle their sales, and that's fine. But I like to give my buyers a chance to pay in multiple ways. So if a buyer tells me, well, could you set it up in your shop for me? I will definitely put it in my Zibit shop for them, let them bill it through my Zibit, pay through my Zibit. Makes it easier for them. That's fine. I have one customer who pays cash. She chooses what she wants. She emails me, she mails me cash. I email her the invoice. She sends me the cash. And when I get the cash, I send her the items. That's the way that works with her. I have some people that pay me through Facebook. I have some people that pay me through Zelle. I have some people that pay me through through PayPal. It's just up to how they want to handle that. And I make arrangements with each person based on their individual need. Because I don't want to make it so that you can buy stuff from me, but it's a pain in the butt to pay for it. What's the sense of me going out and finding this stuff and packaging this stuff, washing it, cleaning it, and getting it ready to sell, and then putting it in a sale and selling it to you if you can't pay me for it? Yeah, losing money is definitely not a good business practice. Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not. It's not for sellers anymore. Now it's all about big business. I want to sell stuff, um, mostly because most of the people I sell to are a lot of people that have issues. They can't get to a craft store. They don't have as many resources as I do as for being able to buy things that I get. And I would rather get the items into their hands as inexpensively as possible than to gouge the crap out of them. And I mean, there was a thing not too long ago. There was a seller who was tacking on like $2 in service fees, handling fees on every one of their orders, like $2 and change on every single one of their orders. So, like, if your shipping was $3.15, they would charge you $4 for the shipping plus a $2 handling fee, and just lay it all into shipping and say that this is what it was going to cost to ship. And some other sellers found out about it, and it was a big rigmarole because they were literally charging people to buy their stuff. Like, if you want to make more money, then sell your stuff for more money. Don't hide it in the fees. So I'm really transparent about it. When I tell people this is, how much your package is going to cost to ship, I tell them you're more than welcome to check it on Pirate Ship. This is what it's going to cost. This is how much it weighs. This is the size of the box. Be my guest, please check it out. Most people are pretty comfortable that I'm going to do the best that I can to get them their items as inexpensively as possible. I'm sorry you can't sleep, Donna.
Right.
I just opened one, thank you. See, you're using Etsy to your advantage, Tammy. You're not actually like using it as a store. You're using it as a shipping facility, as a basically a drop ship facility. And that works. I mean, if that's all you're doing and you're not using it for actual, like to keep actual inventory in your shop, then that works. I think we lost Janie. Right. So no, we didn't lose Janie. Hi, Janie. So you're using your Etsy basically just to facilitate your online sales. That's fantastic. But for people that actually have a, a store on Etsy, it's not the greatest because we have to list things in order to be able to sell them. So people like me that only does an auction once a month, and I only do auctions once a month because I don't want to bombard people with auctions. So I do an auction once a month. If I just held my Etsy shop open and didn't sell anything on Etsy, then I wouldn't be making any money on my regular inventory. See, that's because you are concerned about what you put out there. I've seen some people that have auctions twice a week. I could not do twice a week. That would kill me. To do an auction twice a week, I wouldn't even be able to breathe at the end of the week. I'd have a freaking heart attack in the first month. Ugh. I'd be like, stick a fork in me, I'm done. It's just too much. I mean, like I do one auction a month and I scaventure for 4 weeks. And on my scavengers, I pick up all the stuff, things like this that I can put in my auctions. Things like these that I can put in my auctions. And then I bring it home, I clean it, wash it, whatever, recondition it, and then I put it in a big list. And usually by the 4th week, the last week of the month, I have enough stuff that I can actually have support a sale. People that do it twice a week, I don't know how they do it. Yeah, they're constantly behind. I don't know. I know I've ordered stuff from people that do way too many auctions, and like a month down the line, I'm still waiting on stuff to be delivered. So definitely not my cup of tea. You went down to Glendale, Jamie? I know, right? I need to replenish my money, man. Y'all are just auction after auction after auction, and I'm broke. Give me a break, people. I look at it this way. Most of you guys know that I get my stuff from my auctions through my scavengers. So, hi, Lori. So, y'all kind of get a preview for weeks in advance of what I'm going to sell. And if it's something that you want, you put the money aside for it. That's the way I look at it. And if it's something you're not interested in, then you're just not interested in it, and I move on to the next item. Somebody will be interested in it eventually, hopefully. Don't ask me what I'm doing here, guys, because I have no idea. I'm just experimenting. 5 of them are German. You want me to have Mike come in and translate for you, honey? Mike speaks German. Go away. Okay. Well, this does not work out quite the way they said it would. Oh, that's not too bad. Yes, Miss Kim. Yes, Donna, there have been a lot. The wide stuff, I think it's like 4 or 5 inches wide. It's like a rusty color rose. Give me a second. I'll look at the inventory and tell you. I happen to have it up. Item number, I believe, let me check. Give me a second. I'll check for you. I think it's in inventory. Hold on. Is this the one you're talking about? Do not cut up that 1900s book. Savers is a very awesome thrift store. Janie, I'm going to send you one of my coupons, honey. Kim, is this the lace that the ribbon you were talking about? The rusted rose colored one? Okay, Kim, now that you're all refreshed, is this the correct lace? It's like a thrift department store. Yes, but it's a very, very nice one. because it's a business. It's not really a thrift store. It's a for-profit resale shop. This is the one you want? I was going to blow this out in the auction. I've got 2 pieces left. They're $1 yard a piece. That's all I've got. Yeah, sure, no problem. I will pull them for you. Not a problem. Lori, come to my bookstore. You might get lucky. Okay, so what I'm doing is somebody told me that I could make these soft covered book covers out of contact paper. And I found this really pretty rose contact paper. I mean, I love it, but it's just not as sticky as I would like it to be. So I'm going to try it with, you know, a little glue and see if I like it better. There was this guy. I went to like a kind of like an antique yard sale, excuse me, a couple of months back. And there was this guy there and he was just like, any book is $2. And I started looking and he had a first edition Evangeline. And I was like, $2? And he was like, yeah, $2, whatever, $2. And so I picked up like 3 or 4 books and he was like, oh, just give me $5 for all of them. And I was like, okay, you can have it. $5. Should I have given you 10? The front plate is worth more than that. And I have it. And I actually have a very good friend. Her name is Evangeline. And she was named after the poem Evangeline. So I'm trying to find somebody in Vegas or close by who can fix the binding on it because it's really bad. I don't want to replace it if I don't have to. If I can just get it repaired, that would be awesome. But, you know, finding somebody that is an actual craftsman in Vegas is next to impossible. So I may have to send it off to a friend of mine and see if they can do it. Yeah, they just don't know. And I love this damn book, and I love the plate on it. Ow, ow, ow. So it needs to be cleaned, and I don't want to try and clean it because I don't want to take off any of this, the gold on here. But you can see the whole binding is done. Okay, and it is a first edition. I've already verified it. But it's even got the fabric. The paper is actually fabric. So I just want to get it fixed. So I can give it to her. But you can see it was very loved, and it's got all the gold gilding on it and everything, and the image is got some fractures that I just want to get fixed and have it professionally done before I give it to her. But it's a beautiful book, and I have no heart to destroy it in any way. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, and it's a beautiful vintage piece. It's the whole poem, um, the whole story, the whole Evangeline story, and it's so old and so delicate, and just the fact that this binding is coming apart. And the guy literally, he was just like, "Oh yeah, just give me $5." I was like, "Ah, okay, I'll buy them." And I bought a couple other ones that were cool and old too, but not like this one. Don't meow at me. Why you always got to call me names? I hate when you call me names. Okay, so I do not like the way contact paper works on its own. It needs to be glued. So there's the answer to that question. It's like it doesn't, maybe if I heat it up, it would be stickier. Let's put some heat on this situation and a brayer. I'm not going to run this the whole time. I just want to see. Yeah, that works. All right, so I just have to give it a little heat and use the brayer on it. Then it works. Okay. Hi, Hubbard.
Good night.
You go to bed?
I have to.
Everybody say goodnight to Hubster.
Not that I can hear you.
You can see them.
I can't read your screen that far away and at that angle. Good night, everyone. I'm going to bed. I have to be to work.
Night, baby.
Love you. Good night.
They all said night.
Okay. Final thought.
Yes.
They're going to be picking up the car. I am going to be late. I'm picking up storage, and I have to get you soda tomorrow on the way home.
Okay.
Okay.
They have to deal with it. They're using our car.
I know.
Love you.
Love you too.
Night, Hubbard.
You know, there's a boat hook in that garage. You can yank down them sleeping bags and start throwing at the kids so we can clear the top shelf.
I know, right?
I'm telling you, there's a boat hook in there. Go use it. You know how to use that puppy.
Yep.
Love you. Good night.
Love you. Good night.
Have fun.
Uh-huh. Okay. So, yes, this will work. It just, I have to heat it to make it work. Okay. Well, there's the answer to that question. Okay. Oh. Really? Hard to find where you live. Aww. Aww. Well, I have sheet music. I have vintage sheet music. I put it in my auctions about 10 times and it never sells.
Yabba dabba do.
You were sleeping.
You got legs,
Yeah, I have a hookup for sheet music. I have this lady who sells vintage paper, like all kinds of vintage paper. And she sells me scores of sheet music for next to nothing. The problem is the condition. The condition's not always great. Yeah, JD, you wouldn't like any of this. It's like popular music. It's not old. Kim, tell Trini that Donna says hi. Dog needs out. Mine just came in for the 15th time tonight. Oh, Lordy. I'm getting old, guys. I'm getting old. Ah. So these are some of my newer pieces. My newer old pieces. I know, aren't they gorgeous? This one is called Best Friend. Love this print. And this one is called Lady with Fan. And then this one, which I love the most, I think this one reminds me of like Coca-Cola, like a Coca-Cola ad. This one's called A Fair Driver. I love the whole idea of it because you can tell that she's very Victorian and like, well, I think maybe Edwardian. She might be right on that border. But the fact that she's driving a car is amazing. But I love these. I love them so much. And I bought them months ago, and I just cannot put them in the auction. I bought them to go in the auction. My husband's like, what are you going to do with them? Oh, I put them in the auction. Yeah, right. Sure, I will, honey. They still have them. All right, let me see here. So I have to close this little window over. I get rid of that. So now, oh, we figured it out. I made 274 yo-yos. That's how many yo-yos I sold. We counted them up between when I shut down the One Witch and a Crazy Woman show, and when I came back on, 247 yo-yos. I'm the Crazy Woman. I'm here, honest. Yes, it's a lot of yo-yos, but it's not a lot when I package them up by the, 12 to a package. Then it's not. Like, barely any. Good Lord. I have made a yo-yo quilt years ago. It's not my thing. Regular quilts are my thing. And I'm a self-taught quilter, so yeah, I just got a wild hair up my butt one day and decided I wanted to make a quilt. How hard can it be? Yeah, it was a little harder than I thought. I have to admit I cheated on these though. I used my big shot and cut out all the circles. You know what I discovered? I cannot cut a circle. Just can't do it. All right, guys. Dahlia. Well, I did my first quilt. It was the ugliest thing on the planet. My mother loved it till the day she died. And it was hideous. And I made my second quilt, and it wasn't as bad, but it wasn't great. By the time I got to my fifth quilt, for some reason, I thought if I went to the library and got a book, that it would be an easy thing to do. And so I went and I brought it home, and I picked out what I thought was a lovely pattern. And I made my first actual, like, following a book, learned quilt. And it was playing cards. And I followed that up by tumbling blocks. And now I've decided from now on, I just do crazy quilts. And I do a lot of strip quilting because it's a whole lot easier to do. All right, guys, been here 2.5 hours. I got to talk to Amy before she passes out. Listen, if you haven't done so yet, do me a favor, hit the red button down there, okay? Like me, ring my bell, share me with all your friends. I made this Harry Potter thing with this puffy car on it and tags and stuff. I don't know why. I will see you guys all, well, some of you I'll see tomorrow over at Pink Poodles for Mixed Media Mashup. The rest of you I will see on Friday. That's, let's see, what is it? 4 o'clock. Yeah. 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 5 o'clock in the mountains, 6 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock over on the East Coast. Everybody else around the world, figure it out. I am not going to sit here and figure out Greenwich Mean Time. I have approximately 90 lots for regular sale, and I think I have 15 lots for auction. Regular sale is going to be first come, first serve. Make sure that as soon as you show up for the auction, you email me with an address, including any apartment numbers or lot numbers, please. Your real name and your YouTube handle so that I can get in touch with you if I need to for anything. Auction should be 2.5 to 3 hours, and try to do it as quick as I can. Every 10 or so lots, I will be doing a giveaway. Anybody who's outside of the continental United States will receive a digital download in lieu of the giveaway items. I think that's it, guys. That's it for me. Kim, my email is real easy. It's bemiscraftycorner@gmail.com. All one word. No caps. And of course, it'll be posted. Nightbot will be posting it. Laura will be posting it. I believe, Janie, you're going to be in auction Friday, aren't you, honey? I know Amy will be there. So lots of moderators to help you guys out. Until I see you again, stay safe. Bye-bye, guys. Love you.